Arguably, the way you see things is literally the most important aspect of life and living your unique life. Let me tell you the value of perspective, especially if you're trying to make it in anything. I know how to make it as a trader. I'm going to talk about my experience. The most underrated aspect of you trying to make it in anything is you're going to suffer. You have to suffer. But should we really call it suffering or paying your dues? Or is it something else? They say it's paying the price. And let's face it, if you want to have anything in life, you have to pay the price. Unless you were born into a rich family, because let's face it, I wasn't, there's gonna be some sacrifice. There's gonna be some suffer. But the suffering is necessary because on the other side of the suffering is who you become to be the person to hit that goal. Now, there is this ridiculous saying on the internet that talks about you have to become the person that can hit the goals. You have to become that version of yourself. That's the sensitive way to say you're gonna go through some shit. And there's nothing glorious about having to go through the stuff. The reason that you have to go through the stuff is not necessarily to become some foo-foo, I meditate on top of mountains kind of guy or girl. The reason for that is it helps you develop tough skin. Chasing anything worth any sort of value is not for the weak. My dad used to tell me a long time ago when I was a teenager, it's not that long, I'm not gonna go there. My dad used to tell me a long time ago that nothing comes to dreamers but dreams. He would also say that good things come to those who work, not wait. I'm gonna add to the good things come to those that work. Good things come to those that work, but you have to work and have aggressive patience. Meaning you're not gonna see instant results right away. This is not some silly YouTube, Instagram, TikTok guru telling you, hey, in 45 days, if you do this, you're gonna get this. Not real. We're looking at a minimum of a 3-year fight, really. Unless you're a whiz kid. I wasn't that. I'm a college dropout. Aggressive patience meaning keep your eyes on the prize, know where you're going, but just know it's gonna take some time to get there. And when you lose sight of that vision, that's when the suffering kicks in. Now, let's not call it suffering though. Let's transition thought. Let's call it building character to get to where you wanna get to. Let's take I'm sports, so let's take the analogy of the NBA player. Stephen Curry. Would you say Stephen Curry suffered through workouts? Or did he grow through workouts? He grew, he became the greatest shooter of all time, putting up shots, and his bar is high. He has to all net, swish 100 shots, not make, swish, touch nothing but the bottom of the net, 100 shots. How many shots do you think it takes him to get there? More than 100. You don't think his arms are tired? You don't think his legs are tired? Because shooting is all in the legs. You don't. The reality is, yes, you will suffer. But suffering is no more than you building the muscle, earning the stripes for you to get to where you want to get. That's what it really is about. It's not that you're being punished. It's not that God doesn't love you, because I thoroughly believe that God wants us to live the life that we want that doesn't involve the destruction of other people. But the missing ingredient is you have to go through it to get to it. Now, that's not to say that actual suffering doesn't exist. It does exist. I'm speaking of the intentional, because it's intentional, suffering that you have to go through to hit your goals. That is suffering by choice, but it's not suffering. You are becoming that person that has the thick skin that can take the no's, that can take the bumps and the bruises in order to get to the other side. It's like great salespeople. What do they tell you? They hear no way more than they hear yes. And do you think there's days where they don't get a yes? Of course. But how they handle that, that's the difference between what makes someone a champion, an average, or just someone who doesn't make it at all. The choice is really yours. It's like martial arts and Wing Chun. We are trained to hit things to condition the fist. It's painful. You're hitting metal, you're hitting steel, sometimes you're hitting wood. But what that does is it conditions the fist for the fist to get stronger. So that if you ever have to punch something, it's not gonna hurt you, it's gonna hurt the person or the object that you punch. So the pain has a purpose. And if you consider it pain, you have to reframe it in the mind, because it's not necessarily pain, it's the lessons, it's the road, it is the pathway for you to become that entrepreneur, that trader, that martial artist. I say that to say this: your perspective is the most powerful thing that you have. And without the right perspective, you're gonna feel like you're going in circles. But with the correct perspective, the quote unquote suffering is really just a becoming. It's a you stepping into your inner power. Do me a gigantic favor. It costs you nothing. Hit the like button. Share this video for me. Let's get the message out there. No more listening to these gurus, these scammers that sit here and say, it's gonna take you 30 days and you're gonna be the best person in the world. And 30 days later, you're still the same person in the same position. The only difference is you're out of that investment that you paid for that 30-day course. Okay, as always, I wish you guys health, wealth, happiness, and I'm going to enjoy a nice cold cup of water before my toddler wakes up and the madness that is my life begins. Okay, guys, take care of yourself. Love each other. Cheers.